Hi, in this video we will be showing you how to put together this desktop cornhole game, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So here's my little cornhole board. So here's one without, so we have, these are all the pieces to it. So we have the actual board piece, and then these other pieces are structural pieces, and then these are the panels and the little bags, or you want to say bean bags. Now, these are not the best, the bags, but I made them work. So it ended up taking me probably at least 2 to 3 times longer, just because I was trying to figure out what would work for a little bean bag. Well, rather than sew them, so I tried sewing, felt, all that stuff. So basically this is just a folded up piece of paper. It's not pretty, but it works. So I just wanted to show you this one so you can see what you could do with pattern paper. And it, you know, it's just, it does go into the hole, but it's just one set. So if you wanted to do 2 sets, but I figured it's like a desktop game, just a silly little thing that you might give somebody. But you can see these are not like pretty. So if you have other ideas or you want to make it larger, somebody gave me an idea of using a penny, but I don't think I made it quite large enough to put a penny inside just for the weight. So that's other ideas. So I have a little rice in there. I'll show you. So this is the one for me because I like aliens from Toy Story. I happen to be a Toy Story fan, and you can see what I did is didn't use the top panel, but I used the support panels and then just got a nice pattern paper. So you could do that as well. And there's all sorts of things you could do to personalize it. So that's why it's kind of a little fun thing. So it's not hard at all. You just want to go ahead and fold it on the score lines. Make sure it's good and folded. What I would suggest, the way I'm going to put it together, I'm going to put it together like this. And the reason is structurally it'll be more sound here. If I can line up the inside, that little panel. I mean, you could do it inside if you want. I would normally put the panels on first, but since I'm going to do this and this, I'm going to add those side panels last. But we can do the front and the back and this one. So basically they're just structural. I do use 80-pound textured American Craft cardstock. If you felt so inclined, if you really wanted to make it fancy, I suppose you could do little chipboard pieces slightly smaller than this. These pieces to put over here. You can try. So that's up to you. It wasn't meant to be this big huge project, it just meant to be something fun. Somebody asked for it and I thought, I've been wanting to do a game out of paper for a while, so why not this? My dogs just came in from outside. It's kind of chilly here in Arizona right now. Not as chilly as obviously other areas, but. So I'm just doing the front and back, and then we'll do the top pieces. So I thought it'd be fun to texture this with a wood texture, but I didn't have a embossing folder long enough to emboss those side pieces. And you can do it. You just have to put it in twice. But honestly, my room's quite a mess, so it was a little bit of a challenge just getting to that machine. So since I'm in the process of doing a lot of designing right now. So I'm doing this piece by piece, but so these are just all the support pieces. If you did it without the support pieces, then it'd just be flimsy. So I just match up the hole, and then I'm just kind of making sure that the edges meet. Biggest thing with this is just make sure that it glues to the edge. And then let's just go ahead and do this top panel. So you could do a lot of different, you could just use this, and that could be like this. And that's what I did for the alien one that I showed you, Toy Story. Or you could just use this. So I kind of wanted to have a panel that kind of had an idea of like what some cornholes look like, cornhole games. So I'm just trying to get to the edges best I can. And what we're going to do is this is going to line up. Oops, that was my bad. This is perfectly fits this, so I'm going to start at the bottom. I had to be careful with my glue placement. Just kind of wiggle it into place. Having wiggly issues today. It's not perfect, but what it is. So I'm just going to ink the edges a little bit. One of the reasons I like inking is the look, first of all, just because it kind of gives it a framed in or distressed look. There's a lot of things. And also what it can do is basically hide imperfections. So around the edge, if you just don't piece something quite right, I mean, if it's way off, of course you might have to overdo it, do it again, but I try not to put it down before it's dry, so just in case I get it off a little bit. But nice thing about ink is it kind of hides those edges, and then you can go ahead and center that like that. You see there's a little space in the middle there. So if you do end up liking this project, I always appreciate, not necessary, but I appreciate a like on the video and or subscribing to our channel. Then you can hit the little bell and you'll be notified when we have new videos. I do occasional, so I'm concentrating, tutorials too. So now we can just go ahead and put this together, and then we'll add these side panels. So if you were going to glue it underneath, you could always add those panels before you glue it together, but I want to glue it over just for additional strength. So I'm going to make sure they're folded well, add glue, and it really isn't hard to fold it over after the fact. I mean, to add that panel after the fact. So what you want to just make sure is that that edge is lined up inside that fold. Just kind of push it in, make sure it's square in there, and you can look inside. Then you can just flip it on its side and apply pressure. So we'll do that for all fours. And since the timing of this video, this would be a fun, just little fun gift for coworkers or at Christmas, a little stocking stuffer, or somebody I know is going to use it for Christmas for their elf. So elf on the shelf phase. Or not phase. See, that's when you don't get the right words. I didn't even try to figure it out. So we fold this over, last one, I think. I'm just making sure it's lined up inside. Flipping it over, apply pressure. Let's get those bags to the left here, bag pieces. So just make sure you have the right piece. So that one's not the correct side, this one is, before you add glue to it. what you might want to do is add glue to this, but that's up to you. If you want to do it on the back of that, you can do that as well. As people have probably heard in my other videos, and I will always repeat it, the reason why I tend to put it on something rather than on the piece I'm placing down most of the time, if I can, is because I drop things a lot. So when you drop things on a project that has glue on it, it's not a good thing. So that's just the reason why I do it. Get things out of the way that you can destroy, because I almost got glue on the other piece. So I'm just lining it up. So it's just a silly little thing. I'm going to flip it on its side and apply lots of pressure. And we'll do the same on the other side. So now we have the other side put on. So I'll put that aside. And now we have these little bean bags, or bags. So like I said, admittedly they're not the best thing, but they have a little rice in them. So I pulled a little rice out. I'm going to put it in there. And that's really just for effect more than anything else. It doesn't really affect the weight, and it's not like really a bean bag, but you can hear the sound. It's kind of fun, but it's not like really pretty. Again, I tried many other ways to do it, but to me other ways were a bit frustrating. So I know there's people out there that are that might get a little fancier with this, so that's up to them. So if you want to just use this because you just want to do something informally, just for fun, which is meant to be, I'm going to do 2 of them. So I already did 2 of them. I just know crafters out there, because I know how crafters are. They just don't. Sometimes, I mean, I look at it and it's not perfect looking, so I'm just using something a little bit round. This is a chopstick, a wooden chopstick. I'm just curling these edges. So it's going to curl it to give it a little pocket to put some rice in it. So we're going to take the big sides first. So there's 2 smaller sides. So we're going to take the big sides first. And I'm going to just add glue to most of it down here. I'm just going to go up to the edge here. I'm just not going all the way down. And I'm just going to fold the other one in. And then fold it over. Then I'm going to take this to apply pressure on inside to help adhere it. So you just want to make sure it doesn't flip up. So if you find a better way, you could always put that on the video or something to let others know so they can try something different. So this one, so I'm going to glue one of these now, just one over. I'm going to carefully fold it over. So I'm there's no score mark, but you see it's kind of squared over. And this is why it's not pretty. I mean, I tried different ways to do it. And for something that I meant to be something really quick to make, I just didn't want it to be take a lot of time. I mean, this is meant to be just kind of a silly gift or something like that. So now we have a little hole. So I'm just going to come in here and have this little spoon. I'm putting a little rice in there. I just wanted to shake a little bit, so I didn't put a whole lot. And then I'm going to do the same on the side. You can get glue all the way down. It really doesn't matter. Maybe the rice will get stuck, but we really didn't want it stuck on the other side. I just wanted to have a little thickness. So I kind of squeeze at the corners too, just to make sure that the rice doesn't come out. So you might want to take the time to get those edges down, but you can see it's not pretty. So you can just go ahead and just watch me put this last one together similarly. Again, if you have some other way that you want to do it, just make sure that it fits into the hole. I think that might be easier if it was a little bit bigger. You could hand sew a couple. I mean, you don't necessarily need to give somebody 4, but 4 is what comes with the game officially. 4 per board, per person. So there they are. See, some of them got a little split on the edges because of the way that I scored. But, I mean, they do work. You could always add another thing I thought about with those little bags. You could add vinyl around it if you wanted to clean it up. I don't want to see this. Cardstock doesn't work very well. Just, I do know that. But, you know, play around with those if you want something like this. But I want to be up front that it's not the prettiest looking little bags. But they work, and it's kind of a fun little thing. And I just made it not that expensive to do. So I hope you liked this project, other than even the little bags. Again, if you did, please give me a little thumbs up, and I thank you so much for watching.